everyone. Thank you again for joining today's Rail Europe online training session. My name is Sophia, calling here from Melbourne, delivering the training session. Thank you so much for that. So today's topic that we're going to be focusing on is Scandinavia, what rail options we have available and other different destinations and packages, and what it's like to travel overall in this destination as well. So just some objectives that we're going to cover today would be the following. So we're going to go over some of the fjord tours that we can offer you and you can extend to your customers as well. We'll also review some of the features of the different Swedish trains and also review the Allegro train, which is the train service that operates between Finland and Russia. So again, it's just going to be a really quick, light training session, just giving you a bit of a taste of what we can offer in Scandinavia, and we can get started. So I think I might just pause the session yet first because I'm getting feedback from people saying that the volume is kind of quiet. So bear with me just one moment. Okay, hopefully my audio is working a lot better now, but if people can just let me know if the sound is still having interference or interruptions, that would be great. Okay, I think that people are saying that it's all okay now, so we're all good. So yeah, just to recap for those who couldn't hear my audio when I started the training session, today we're just going to have a light introduction and overview of the different rail products that we can offer in Scandinavia. We're going to go over some of the fjord tours that we offer, such as Norway in a nutshell, the Hardangerfjord in a nutshell, and the Sonjefjord in a nutshell, and what they comprise of. And also we'll review some of the features of the different Swedish trains that are available to reserve, and also a review of some of the Allegro trains, or the Allegro train, which operates between Finland through to Russia as well. So we'll start off today with a focus on the fjord tours, and I will first off, why go to Scandinavia? And these are some things that you can recommend for some of your customers if they are interested in traveling to this very diverse part of the world. So first reason to travel to Scandinavia might be for your passengers if they are interested in some beautiful landscape and scenery, such as exploring the fjords in Norway. We do also have, a range of different fjord tours that we can recommend that does integrate that into the packages and the itineraries. So certainly keep an ear out if you're interested in learning a little bit more about that. Another thing that we can recommend as to why you would go to Scandinavia is to explore some of its rich history and diverse culture by visiting some Viking and maritime museums while you're there as well. Another reason might be to even stay in a snow hotel in Norway, or visit the very scenic Tivoli Gardens in Denmark, and even the Vigeland Sculpture Park in Oslo as well. So some very different things and very interesting attractions that you can do while you're in that particular part of the world as well. You can even explore some rich history, such as going to different fortresses and castles, and even different various history museums as well. So there's definitely no shortage of activities that you can offer for your customers while they are in that region, and then we can certainly complement that with the different products that we can offer as well. And of course, the number one thing to also recommend, for your customers to do while in Scandinavia, even though it's not up here on the screen as well, is to see the Northern Lights, which is probably number one on many people's bucket lists, of course. So we'll continue on with what we can offer to complement that. So we'll start off with some of the fjord tours that we can that we can recommend. So the first and probably the most popular fjord tour that we can offer would be the Norway in a nutshell. For those who aren't as familiar with the fjord tours, they comprise of a range of different modes of transportation to really explore the depths and the beauty of Scandinavia and Norway's most scenic regions as well. So with the Norway in a nutshell, it's a combination of travel by train, boat, and bus. So it's not just a train journey that your customers would potentially be doing. So based on your itinerary, the Norway in a nutshell tours offer a range and a choice of experiencing the fjords in a 2-hour traditional boat or even a 1.5-hour high-speed boat journey as well. So some of the benefits and features that are included in the Norway in a nutshell is that they combine travel on train, boat and bus throughout spectacular Norway scenery. For those who haven't booked these products before, when traveling within Norway, the standard class of service within Norway is only offered in second class. But rest assured, it doesn't mean that it's it's a negative class of service at all. It's really just a standardized class of service that's offered throughout the country. A lot of the seating and a lot of the amenities on board are very modern and very consistent and in line with the whole Norway transport system as well. So with the Norway in a nutshell, it also includes travel on the Flam and Bergen railways as well. So these are very, very scenic journeys that you can offer to your customers, and also travel on the Ålandsfjord and Nørre fjords with your choice of a modern high-speed boat operating between the 1st of June and the 30th of September, or a traditional boat that operates year-round as well. So you might see here in the map the different methods of travel that are available with the Norway in a nutshell. So depending on the route and the combination that you wish to travel, the entire journey can be done either in a day or across a series of different days. It's quite flexible in what you can offer for your passengers, but it comprises of both train, boat and bus as well. So you might see with the solid line over here, this whole opportunity. Whereas with the boat section, this is the section here in blue, and then the bus component here between Voss and Gundhagen as well. So, as I was mentioning earlier, that with the Norway in a nutshell, it offers and operates two different types of boats during the itinerary, whether or not it's the modern high-speed boat or the traditional boat. This would be operated during this section of the itinerary. But again, bear in mind the high-speed boat service is only in operation during June through to September. So if you do have any customers interested in traveling on that particular boat, they have to bear in mind it's only during that particular period of time. So with Norway in a nutshell, you can choose your itinerary, the direction of travel, or one-way or round-trip travel, and even select from a range of 1 or 2 day trips as well. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the Norway in a nutshell, I'd highly recommend for you to read a little bit more on this on Extranet, so that you can see the ways that you can do various combinations of the journeys and how to process the booking itself too. So another package or a fjord tour that we can also offer for your customers would be the Sognefjord in a nutshell. So with the Sognefjord in a nutshell, the circular itineraries can take your mind to some of the most important, some magnificent sceneries in Western Norway. So it has a combination of both train rides and also an impressive trip by express boat through the Sognefjord. So it's certainly a much longer journey and exposure to the fjords that your customers can get with this particular journey as well. So with the Sognefjord in a nutshell, just bear in mind, unlike the Norway in a nutshell, it only operates during a certain period during the year. So it's only between May to September only, whereas Norway in a nutshell goes year-round. With the Sognefjord in a nutshell, there are 6 itineraries combining travel by rail, again in just second class, because that's the standard class of service offered on the fjord tour that is throughout Norway as well, and also by boat too. So the combination of trains and express boat on these tours provides spectacular scenery across mountains, fjord and sea for your customers to really take advantage of as well. And much like the Norway in a nutshell tour, you can choose your itinerary, direction of travel, one-way or round-trip travel, and select even from 1 or 2 day trips when you're doing this journey too. So now we're just going to move on from the fjord tours, but before I move on from the fjord tours, I'd just like to show you where you can find more information on Extranet for this product, because although it's, it is certainly a really exciting thing to offer to your customers, you can certainly find a lot more, on Extranet directly. So bear with me as I just show you where to find that information. Just put them on mute. Okay, so if you wanted to learn a little bit more about some of the fjord tours that we offer as well, where you can find some extra information on both the product as well as the booking process on how to book this for your customers, can be found directly on Extranet. So where I would recommend for you to look would be under European travel, and then under other products, and then fjord tours. So I'll use the Norway in a nutshell just as an example for you as well. So definitely use Extranet as a great resource of information for both product and process. So you'll be able to find features of what the tours do offer and how they are configured as well. So information about various itineraries, even the onboard services, and even the different railways, and a breakdown of what is involved as part of the journey can all be found via Extranet too. So it also shows and displays a booking process in Euronet on how to do that for your customers. I mean, I won't go through it in detail and in a demonstration, but I would certainly recommend in section 9 of all of these fjord tours on Extranet, this is how you can book it through Euronet and what is necessary in the actual confirmation process as well. So bear in mind with the fjord tours that although you do book the product within Euronet, bear in mind that there are additional steps required after you've processed the booking in Euronet and finalized it and invoiced it with a void and replace coupon voucher from Euronet. There is the confirmation process that takes place that whenever you are selecting a specific itinerary for your customers, you do have to fill out and download and fill out the form that is available on Extranet, and then send it directly to fjordtours@raileurope.com. So once you do have that downloaded, let me just bring up a sample of what it looks like. So this information is to be filled by you on. So you'll just need to make sure that you filled it out with your Euronet booking number after you've booked it through Euronet, along with the specific travel date and from and to and whatever other information is required, in order to facilitate that booking. On the other page, you may also be able to, on the drop-down list section, let me just enable this document here. So you'll be able to see, once you're filling out the fjord tours form, you'll be able to nominate specifically which itinerary your customers wish to do on the Norway in a nutshell. So, so you can select whether or not you wish to do it as a round trip from Bergen to Bergen via bus, or even just change the directions and the itineraries and like that as well. So there's a range of different choices when it comes to the Norway in a nutshell tour. But of course, you do have to make sure that your customers have made that selection prior to you booking it in Euronet, issuing the documentation, and then sending off the confirmation booking form directly to our Fjord Tours team as well. And then furthermore, so just any additional information that you the fjord tours, I would certainly recommend for you to just go have a read of Extranet and then find out some more information from there as well. But if you have any questions in the interim, if you are processing a booking for one, don't hesitate to contact us at online training at raileurope.com, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have during the booking process as well. So that was just a very brief overview of the different fjord tours that we do offer. So now we're just going to move on to some of the more specific offerings that we have in terms of the trains that are available throughout Scandinavia as well. So looking at trains in Sweden, I'm just going to refer to this now. So with Swedish trains, we're going to have a bit of a profile look at this where we can learn a little bit more here as well. So with Swedish trains, they travel at speeds of up to 303 kilometers an hour and service on all major routes as well. So these trains are called SJ trains, and the high-speed trains carry up to 6 cars, offering 318 seats on board the service too. So there are 2 different classes of service on board, where you have first-class cars, which are 2 cars configured on the train itself, cars which have obviously on board as well. And with SJ trains, the biggest difference between the 2 different classes of service is certainly dependent on the size of the seat, where on first class you have a 2-by-1 seating configuration on board, offering a wider seat and more space on board and more legroom for your passengers, whereas in second class you would have a 2-by-2 seating configuration where your seating is, obviously a more economical choice, a little bit narrower, but still certainly more as comfortable as possible as well. So on board the trains, there is also a bistro car available with one car on each service. And the bistro car on various SJ high-speed train services and SJ intercity trains for both hot and cold dishes for purchase on board, including like sandwiches, wine, soft drinks, and coffee and cakes. So just bear in mind that with meals on board, they're not included in either of the fares. You do have to purchase those at additional cost as well. So some of the examples of some major routes and travel times available on the SJ trains would be a very popular route that we book here in Melbourne as well. So most of our customers would be from Stockholm to Gothenburg, which is about 3 hours and 8 minutes. Stockholm to Malmö, which is a high-speed journey, still operating from 4 hours and 41 minutes. And then from Stockholm to Sundsvall, just to give you an example of an additional route as well that the SJ trains offer. So with the trains in Sweden, just to give you a bit more of a profile on what they include on board, is that on all major routes, the SJ high-speed trains has a special coach, which is built in with a wheelchair lift and space for a wheelchair. But however, just bear in mind that if you do wish to book that space on the service, pre-booking with SJ is required as well. There is a luggage allowance that is applied for these particular services, where no more than 2 pieces of luggage, which is a maximum of the various dimensions as displayed on there, per person, and 1 handbag is permitted on board as well. The booking horizon for these services is 180 days in advance, and now just bear in mind these can only be issued as paper tickets. So if you do have any customers who are trying to make any last-minute bookings for these services, it might be quite difficult to process the fares and send out documentation, particularly because there's no e-ticket option available for any Swedish trains. So just take that into account when you are booking for your customers as well. When traveling in first class travelers enjoy complimentary Swedish newspaper, a coffee, tea and fruit, and just very, very light snacks throughout the journey. They also do get internet connection and media portal available to them, and they also get access to SJ lounges in Stockholm Central, Gothenburg Central, and Malmö Central stations. So they certainly do have a little bit more included in the fare that they do have. However, regardless of the class of service that you're traveling in, you'll still enjoy quite a comfortable journey. However, certainly first class is a great experience for anyone to enjoy when traveling, on the trains in Sweden as well. So just moving on now, when looking at second class still does have access to internet connections and media portals available as well. And on board these coaches, they do also have various baby changing facilities, except for passengers who are located in Car 4. Just a little bit of information there for you. And because the SJ services that we consider families traveling on board the services too, they do also have children's books and music on board, just so that everyone has as well-rounded experience when they are traveling on these trains too. Now, taking a quick look at the Allegro service, we're now looking from Finland through to Russia. So the Allegro trains are a purely international service. They consist of 7 carriages and have a maximum speed of 220 kilometers an hour. Its most major routes would certainly be from Helsinki through St. Petersburg. And another thing as well is that the trains are non-smoking and offer internet, Wi-Fi, air conditioning, and of course, drinking water available too. So when traveling on board the services, onboard passenger information, because it is an international service too, is available in Russian, Finnish, and English, and has a booking horizon of 60 days in advance of the train departure date as well. So when traveling on the service, first class has leather seats and much more comfortable and roomier seats than second class. There is also a lounge meeting room with 6 seats available on board, and there is also coffee and tea available from a self-service station for first class passengers, and there is also a snack served at your seat included in your fare as well, much like the image that I'm showing on my screen right here as well. When traveling in second class, they do have still comfortable seating as well available on board, and the dining car in second class can seat up to 38 passengers. But of course, as per usual with second class, just bear in mind that meals are going to be at an additional cost for your customers as well. And again, luggage restrictions do apply for for second-class passengers, where second-class passengers can't take any more than 2 pieces of luggage per person with a total weight of 35 kilos. So that was just a very, very quick training session on a focus on Scandinavia. We had a quick look at some of the fjord tours that are available, and I just showed on Extranet what information you can source if you are booking that product as well. And we just had a little bit of a taste into seeing what Swedish trains had available on the service, as well as the Allegro service as well. So if anyone has any particular questions, please feel free to enter these into the chat box or unmute your microphone if you have any questions, and we'd be more than happy to assist with that. But as just for this week, I'd just like to say thank you to those who joined the training session. And as per usual, a recording of this training session is going to be uploaded to the training library for everyone to access if they wish to go back and listen to it as well for any additional assistance. But for those who are leaving us now, thank you so much for that, and we will resume training again next week. Thank you.